Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm Gamesplaining Railroad Revolution. If you have watched the Gamesplain of Railroad Revolution, you'll have an idea of how the game plays. I've set the game up to play as a two-player game, and I'll play part of it until I feel like you've got a good feel for how the thing goes. Each player starts with 3 shares and 600 money. Everyone gets one benefit, which is connected to a coloured guy. So the red player got this one, which pushed that marker up 3 more spots. I could have done on either markers, but I chose to do that one. And the blue player got this one, which gave him 3 more shares. So let's get cracking. We're starting with the red player. The red player is going to use a grey guy on here, and he's going to claim that, which gives him 2 more shares. So I'll put the 2 shares over there, and either a purple or a turquoise worker. So he'll put the worker down there. It's cost him 500 money, so he pays the 500. This then enables him to get the first player bonus again, so he'll take another 2 shares. It now goes over to blue's turn. And blue is going to do something really similar. So he'll place his guy up here, which gets him 2 further forward, and he thinks he'll actually go 1 on each of those 2 tracks. He also gets a grey or an orange guy, so he'll take the orange worker in, and that costs him 500 money. And then the purple guy for 100 more, so he'll spend his 100 money to get an extra train tile in. It's back to red's turn. Red will use purple on this end spot, so he's spending his rail to get 400 money in, so it's 400 coming in. Because he's used purple, he gets to push one of his tokens up 3 spots, and he'll push forward on the Western Union line. That would also allow him to flip that over and put some guys over here, and he won't do that at the moment, so he won't worry about that. Back over to blue's turn. Blue is going to use an orange guy to do a Western Union, which is this bottom track, and he thinks he might actually do that one, which will get him 4 of those tokens. He's going to spend one of his guys to get 600 money. Now, because he's used orange, he gets 100 money for every one of these he has. And he has 10 of them, so that actually gets him 1,000 money. There's 1,000 money coming in. That was probably the most beneficial thing he could have done. Okay, moving back over to red, he will get 2 of these placed, so it's going to cost him 400. 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves him with 100 money, so he's going to be able to only hit a single mountain. So what he might do is go that one up to there and that one over there. So that's 1 mountain, so that costs him 500. That's all the money he has coming out. He doesn't wish to trade any guys in, so we shall now move forward. It's blue's turn again. He'll use a white guy to put in 2 rails. It costs him 400. He's going to put one of his rails here, which costs him another 300, so that's 700 total. And he thinks he'll put the other one there. So that's 700 coming out. He's used a white guy. He doesn't wish to put his guys over onto that. So it's back to red's turn. Red is going to trade in one of these shares for 150 money. He will then do the station action and put a station down here, which costs him 150 money, so that's that money he's just gained. Sends back out. He gets to push one of his tokens up 1, so push that middle one up 1, and he also gets a purple guy in. Back to blue's turn. Blue is going to do the rails again, so he puts 2 out, so it's going to cost him 400 money. And he'll put them there and there. So it's going to cost him 700 total. So that's the 700 coming out. he has put a rail over the top of a handshake, which means that he can now claim that. Because he's used a white guy, he can move one of these guys over onto that. He only needs to get one more of these double mountains to be able to actually claim that one that he's just done. For the handshake, he can spend one of these to spend 200 money to take one of these tiles. And he can spend another 3. There's 3, so that's 4 total. To place one of his houses on the Western Union line, and he will just place it there. This guy is now able to do one of those things, and he thinks at the moment he'll spend one of them to grab that one. Okay, it's back over to Red's turn. Okay, Red will use a purple meeple to place one of these. And he's going to place that just there, so they'll get him 4 more shares. So 4 shares coming in. He can then spend one of his guys, which he will do, in order to push him forward 4. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, which costs him a guy, which will be that one. And push forward 1 more on that track. Because he's used a purple in Western Union, he can change one of his meeples to a colour. So he'll trade that one out for a turquoise. And it's back over to Blue's turn. Neither of the players currently have any money, but what this guy can do now is trade in that rail for 600 money. He can turn one of his cards over, which will be one of these ones. That gets him another 600 money. 600 in again, and he can put one of his guys onto a card. Now the problem is that you can have a minimum of 4 guys working, so he can't actually at the moment put another guy onto the card even if he wanted to, simply because he would have less than 4 guys working. So he must maintain the number that he has at the moment until he can get some more. Back over to Red's turn. Now all of Red's guys are working currently, so the very first thing that he will do is take them all off, and they're now available to him again. He has no money, okay, and it might be worth his while to go up here as well, so he will trade in one of his lines to get 600 money for that. He can turn one of the things, so he'll turn that one over and get 600 money just as the other player did. And he can call a guy across, so he'll call him over because it's white, and he's looking for rails on 2 of the single mountain lines. He currently has one of them just here. He needs another to be able to claim that. It's now Blue's turn, so first thing Blue does is takes all the guys back off his board. Blue will then use an orange to put a station out, and he'll put a station out here, which allows him to trade one white guy in for another colour, so he thinks he'll take another purple. It also allows him to push up 2. He thinks he'll push up 2 on that track. And that was a free action, so it didn't cost him 250 because of that. Back over to Red. Red will throw a guy there, a purple guy there, which allows him to build 2 more tracks for 400. He needs that to complete this, so that's 500. That, once it's completed, goes on the bottom of the pile, and the new one gets flipped over, and he thinks he'll do that. So that has cost him $400, $500, $600, $700. So there's the 700. He's completed a handshake, so he can spend 3 of these shares to move up 3 spots, which he thinks he will do. And he can spend another share to trade a white in for another colour. He might go for an orange one. Then the other player gets to choose to do the same, and he'll spend 1 share to trade a white in for a grey. That guy then goes onto the bottom, and the next one comes out. It's now Blue's turn. Blue is going to use a guy there, so it's going to cost him, let's see where he builds first. So he's going to build there, so that's cost him 600, and he will put the other one there, which will make it up to 700, so 700 out. He can then spend 300 to gain an extra locomotive, which he will do. So 200 change, and he'll take one of those. Now what he's achieved is he now has two of these two level mountains, and so that guy goes back into the stock. He then pulls one of them over, and we'll continue to work on that. I think that's as good a spot as any to finish up. I think you've got a really good idea of how this game flows and how it runs. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games I'm gamesplaying. And until next time, enjoy gaming.